So today I'm going to be telling you the story about the time I got arrested. Honestly, shout out to my family for keeping this secret because, wow, like I genuinely don't think anyone like really knows that this happened, other than like the people who were around at the time. So, also side note, I am addicted to Starbucks iced vanilla chai teas. If you haven't had one, stop what you're doing and go get one because it is life-changing. Okay, I just love chai tea. But yeah, that's the story we're gonna talk about today. I know it comes as a big shock to most people that I was arrested. Yeah. So we're gonna tell the story behind it. Just a quick little disclaimer or side note. In not only this story time, but any future story times I tell, the names of the people outside of my immediate family have been changed. If they're not an immediate friend who is still in my life or not an immediate family member, their name has been changed. So Stephanie, that is obviously not her real name. Hi guys, so before we jump right into the story, I just want to give you some background information or some context just so you understand the timeline. So when I was 16 years old, my parents, siblings, and I moved from New York to Arizona. So it was my sophomore year of high school. And then, I lived my life in Arizona, whatever. Then when I was 17, so it was summer 2015, and it was the summer right before senior year of high school, I decided to take a trip out to New York, I think for like 2 or 3 weeks, and see all my old friends, reconnect, whatever. So, now we're just going to hop into the story. So, like I said, it was summer 2015, the summer before my senior year of high school. And I'm on vacation in New York, and I meet up with my friend Stephanie. Stephanie and I had been friends since middle school. She was a grade above me, so she was older than me, only by like a year. Nothing, like no big age gap or anything like that. And so we're hanging out, and we decide after I go and like help her babysit that we're gonna go shopping. So we get to the store, and we're just like, looking around, whatever. And then we get to the makeup section. And I noticed that Stephanie is starting to steal, like makeup, shoplift, whatever. And I was like, Stephanie, like, what are you doing? And she's like, oh, like, this is just what I do. And I was like, okay. And she was like, you've never done this before? And I was like, no. And she was like, oh. And then I was just like, yeah, no, I've never done it before. She's like, well, why not? And I was like, because like that's bad. Like it's not something you're supposed to do. And so Stephanie started like explaining to me her theory behind it. I don't remember what the theory was, but the theory behind like why she does it. And I was like, well, you're not making sense. And so I was like, okay. So I started shoplifting too, which is stupid. It was makeup. But I mean, honestly, are we surprised? Are we surprised that I was shoplifting makeup? Like, come on. But I literally was like, okay. Like, I took some things and I was like, okay, Stephanie, like, we need to leave. Like, we need to go. Like, this doesn't feel right. Like, this isn't sitting right with me. Like, and she was just like, no. Like, I want more mascara. And I was like, Stephanie, like, come on. She's like, no. Let me just get more mascara. And I was like, Stephanie, like, she was like, no. And I was like, and I'm not the type to argue. I hate arguing. I hate confrontation. I hate conflict. So I was like, whatever. But I start walking like towards like the exit. And then Stephanie is, following behind me a few minutes later. So we get to the exit. I make it through the first set of doors. And I'm in like this, because there's like a set of doors, an area, and then another set of doors. So I make it to like the little area, right? And then Stephanie is, like following as well out the exit, and she gets stopped by security. So I watch Stephanie get stopped by security, and the security guard is like, we caught you on tape, like I'm gonna have to search your bag. And then the security guard looks at me and he's like, can I help you? Because I'm like watching Stephanie, so I was watching Stephanie, and he was like, can I help you? And I was like, oh, that's my friend. The security guard looked at me like I was literally the dumbest human being on the planet. Understandably so, because your girl was like almost out, and I told on myself. I snitched on myself, basically. So he's like, "Oh, this is your friend?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that's my friend." He was like, "This is your friend?" And I'm like, "Yes, that's my friend." He was like, "Okay, well, because of that, we're gonna have to search your bag too." So I start freaking out, and it's like, "Oh my gosh, like, no, like, you think I would steal? Like, I would never, like, I wouldn't, da 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 da." And he's like, "Okay, well, if you wouldn't, then it shouldn't be a big deal for me to search your bag." And at that moment, I was like, I'm sorry, like, I stole, like, I'm sorry, like, and he was like, "Okay, well, you two girls are gonna have to come into the back office, and we're all gonna have to talk and everything like that." So Stephanie and I get pulled into this little back room area, and I'm just crying, you guys. I was just crying like my life was over. Like, I knew it. Like, I was like, there's no point in me ever trying to come home. Like, I might as well run away now. Like, my family is going to literally disown me. They're going to hate me. They're going to be so disappointed. Like, I was freaking out. And Stephanie is just chilling there, cool, calm, and collected. And I'm like, what? Excuse me. Like, am I the only one freaking out here? And I really was. So basically what they tell us is, if everything that we stole, they're gonna, like, you know, count it all up, like, in the register, like, total it all up. And if our total is below a certain amount, then we're fine. But if it's above a certain amount, the police are gonna have to get involved. So I'm sitting there, and I'm just like, please let my total be low. Like, please let my total be low. Like, you know, I don't want the police involved. Whatever. So then they come back with our receipts, and she's like, she looks at them, and she's like, both of them, because they were, you know, whatever Stephanie stole was on, you know, one receipt, and whatever I stole was on a different receipt. So they were separate. So she looks at each of the receipts, and she looks at us girls, and she was like, "I just don't understand why two beautiful girls like you would be stealing makeup. Like, you don't need it. Like, it's not worth it." Like, all this other stuff. And she's like lecturing us, right? And then she's like, "Unfortunately, your totals are above the limit, so we're going to have to get the police involved." And I was like, kill me now. Kill me now. Like, I'm done. Like, I'm done. Like, may the Lord strike me now type. I was freaking out. And I'm very dramatic. Are we surprised? So I literally genuinely thought my life was over. So the police come, and they literally take me and Stephanie, put us in handcuffs, and escort us out of the store. I, Aaliyah Renee, was escorted out of a store in handcuffs. Let's just let that sink in while I sip on this. Yeah. Yep, not my proudest moment. So we're in the cop car, and I'm just crying, freaking out, like actually having a full-blown mental breakdown at this point. And Stephanie and the one police, because there was two police officers, one for me and one for her. So Stephanie and her police officer are just chit-chatting, like talking, like whatever. And I'm just sitting there losing my mind. So then we get to the police station. And fun fact, the officer who arrested me, I was the first person he ever arrested. He was fresh out of the academy, or well, I don't know about all that. But yeah, I was the first person that he ever arrested, and I guarantee you I was very memorable because all I did was cry. So we get to the police station, and they asked me for my ID. And fun fact, at 17 years old, I did not have a state-issued license. I did not have a permit. I had nothing. Do you want to know how I got on an airplane at 17 years old? I handed them my high school ID. Fun fact. I don't know why, but yeah. So I literally didn't have an ID on me. So I literally handed them my school license, and the officer was like, this is literally all you have. I'm like, yes, like I'm on vacation. Like I don't live here. Like this is literally all that I have. So he does all the information, takes my mug shot. Say it one more time with me. My mug shot, okay? And I do not know what that mug shot looks like. Honestly, like, low-key wish I could find it, because it's probably the worst picture ever. I probably look so terrible because I was crying. I know my eyes were puffy and red and just, oh my goodness. Fun. Awesome. So then the officer is like, okay, we're gonna have to call your parents. And so I was like, well, my mom's in Arizona. So he's like, okay, well, we still need to, like, call her because she's, like, your, you know, parent, your guardian. But who are you staying with? And I was like, my Grammy. So he called my mom, and then he called my Grammy. So then my Grammy and Stephanie's parents show up at the police station to pick us up. And the police officer is like, okay, your grandmother's here to pick you up, so we're gonna release you to her. And I literally looked this police officer in his face and said, you can't send me out there. And he was just like, why? And I was like, you don't understand, you can't send me out there, like, you can't do it. And he was like, why? Like, what's wrong? And I was like, you don't understand, if I go out there, she's gonna kill me. And he kind of chuckled a little bit, and I was just like, no, you really don't understand. She's going to kill me. If you send me out there, you're going to have a homicide on your hands, because she's going to kill me. And he kind of just, like, chuckled, and he was like, it's fine. Like, everyone makes mistakes. Like, you've shown genuine remorse this entire time. Like, everything's going to work out. It's going to be fine. Like, it's okay. Like, you have to go. Like, you have to go. And I'm just like, I don't want to. Like, I can't. Like, can I just stay here? Literally. And he's just like kind of he's like kind of chuckling, because it's like, come on. So he's just like, no, like, it's okay, like, just go. So I go out there, and the look on my grandmother's face, if looks could kill, I would have dropped dead right then and there. And so we get into the car. She didn't talk to me for the entire car ride. And so we pull into the driveway, and I go, Grammy, why aren't you talking to me? And she was like, honestly, I don't really have anything good or nice to say to you right now, so I figured it would just be better for me to keep everything to myself rather than say it out loud to you, because it would ruin our relationship. And I was like, that hurt worse than anything she could have ever said to me. And she was like, I'm extremely disappointed in you. And if you know me, you know that is like the one sentence I cannot tolerate hearing, is I am disappointed in you. Oh my gosh, you might as well just buy my coffin and bury me right there. You might as well. So fast forward to the court date. My Grammy goes with me, and we stand in front of the judge. And the judge is like, how do you plea? And my grandmother goes, she's guilty. And I'm like looking at her, and I look at the judge, and I'm just shake my head. And the judge is like, I really don't think that's a good idea. Like, I don't think you should do that. My Grammy's like, she is guilty. She did it, and she is here to own it. She is owning it. And she's like talking to the judge like that, and I'm just like, lady, like, can we not talk to the judge like that? Like, not that she was being rude or disrespectful, but she was just being very stern, and like her tone and her just body language. And I was like, oh my gosh. So, and the judge is like, here, I'm gonna set her up with a public, like, defender, somebody, and see like what we can do, because this is her first offense. She's never done anything, and I have it on work, like, I have it noted that she was extremely remorseful, or I don't know, like, what the police officer did or like what he said, but the judge was like, I know that she showed extreme remorse, so we're gonna work something out. So basically what ended up happening was I just had to pay a fine, and I had to pay the store back, and it was expunged. So it doesn't exist. There's no record of it happening. My mugshot doesn't exist anywhere. It's not a thing. There's literally no record of it. So that's honestly amazing, because, you know, don't need that known. Not known like it's a bad thing, but just I don't want a record, you know. So I'm sure you guys have questions, so I'm going to try and answer them and tie up any loose ends to the story, or anything you guys might be wondering. So as far as mine and Stephanie's friendship, Stephanie and I, wow, I cannot speak English today. Stephanie and I are no longer friends. There's no like real bad blood or anything like that between us. It's just that situation happened. We didn't talk for a while. Then we tried to reconnect, and we were friends, and the friendship kind of just like fizzled out on its own. So it's just like a whatever thing. As far as what happened when I went back to Arizona, my parents really reevaluated me and the rules that I have and like how they were with me, how they would like discipline me and things like that. Because my parents, I earned their trust at that point, so they were very like lenient. I could pretty much do a lot of like what I wanted within reason, and that kind of got like taken away, but which is 100% understandable for the event that had just taken place. And it took me a decent chunk of time to earn their trust back. And then once I finally did, it was a couple months into me being 18, and I just got involved with the wrong crowd, started partying a lot, drinking a lot, and met the wrong, put that in caps, bold lettering, underline it, and put an infinite number of exclamation marks after that wrong guy. And you're definitely going to want to stick around to hear the story times and the poems behind those, because you think you know me, and then you'll hear about him. And yeah, you're definitely going to want to subscribe, because I'm telling you, you don't want to miss it. And as far as how I spent the rest of my vacation in New York, I literally spent it in the back room of the house, in the dark, crying and filling myself with such self-hatred and like self-loathing. And I didn't do anything. I didn't go anywhere. I like didn't want to eat. Like all I did was cry and like talk to the universe and talk to God and like literally beg for his forgiveness and that everything would be okay once I got back to Arizona. And that's literally how I spent the rest of my vacation in New York. Absolutely hating myself and hating what I had done and dreading facing the consequences to my actions once I got back home to Arizona. But yeah, that is it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, give this video a thumbs up so that I know that you want to see more videos like this, because I definitely have way more stories that I could tell. This is the tip of the iceberg in my opinion. So like this video, share this video, comment, and subscribe so you can stick around and see more of me and hear more of my stories. I like to think that I mess up so you don't have to. But honestly, as long as you own up to what you did and grow from the situation, and you wake up every day and try and be better than you were yesterday, that's all that matters. The universe sees that you're trying. You know that you're trying, and it's okay. It's okay to mess up. It's okay to make mistakes. Just own up to them, apologize, heal yourself. If they affected another person, try and heal that person as well. And just, that's all you can do. That's all you can do, because no one in this life is perfect. And we're all here to learn, and we're all here to grow. And sometimes you gotta mess up, hit rock bottom, or just scraping the ground of rock bottom to learn sometimes. So I definitely hope to see you guys back here again, and thank you for watching this video. I'll see you next time.